Many of you think that the more time you spend doing grammar exercises, the quicker you learn English. Actually, this is absolutely wrong. It won't help you speak like a native. Watch this video till the end and you'll find out some secrets how to learn English faster. Grab your cup of coffee or tea and let's start. So first of all, before learning anything, you should know the purpose of doing that. Ask yourself, why do you learn English? What is the aim of learning it? Pause this video and try to answer this simple question yourself. Think about why learning English is important to you. Ready? If you learn a language just because your mom wants it, or you do it because everyone around is learning languages, that won't work out. Without motivation, it's impossible to do something for a long period of time. And let's be honest, learning a language requires at least 1 year. So if you are forced to learn English, then you are more likely to give up at the very beginning of your journey. Find the aim which will motivate you. For example, I want to change my job and find a new one abroad. That is why I need to learn English now. That will be a great motivation for me to learn English or any other language. Or I want to participate in exchange program, so move towards your aim. Brush up on vocabulary related to the subjects which you are learning at university. Otherwise, it's more likely that at some point you'll burn out and won't get any results. The next advice will be connected with the amount of time you spend studying. It might be surprising, but you shouldn't sit all day long in front of your textbook or laptop and concentrate so intensely that your brain will explode. Don't do that. It's just a waste of time. Your brain is not a machine. It's not ready to work 24 hours without any rest. When you are studying, it's vital to make some pauses because it will help your brain and body recharge the spent energy. Some neuroscientists recommend having a break for 5 minutes after 30 minutes of working or studying. For example, after 30 minutes of active studying, have a tea break, look through the window, watch cars driving along the road. I personally like to do quick yoga. The blend of physical exercises and breathing reduces stress and anxiety, elevates my mood. Actually, any type of physical exercises or even meditation increases your ability to learn and remember that information. So the next useful advice is to stop learning 100 words at a time. It's not effective at all, and besides, it may be frustrating and even stressful. Has it ever happened to you that you spent 1 hour memorizing words, then you close the book and the next day you don't remember anything or half of what you learned the day before? This happens because you study words separately without any context. It means that you have to study the word in a phrase or in a sentence. For example, when I study Spanish words, I learn not only the solitary word like empezar, but I try to put it in a sentence. Empiezo a leer un libro nuevo. This helps me understand and memorize how the words used in real life. What is more, you can add some emotions to that. Read it using different states of mood. Let's take the previous sentence. Empiezo a leer un libro nuevo. You can say, Empiezo a leer un libro nuevo or Empiezo a leer un libro nuevo. If you make up a funny sentence, it will be easier to memorize it. Speaking of context, books, movies, or podcasts can also help you memorize that vocabulary faster and more effectively, because words and phrases always come associated with a scene or characters. While reading books or watching movies in the original, try to understand what the words mean. If you see or hear words or phrases that you don't understand, look them up and practice saying them. When choosing a podcast or a movie, not just pick any because it's in English. Make your choice based on your preferences. When I was studying at university, one of the tasks in English was to read a book and create vocabulary and make a retelling of that book. In the first 2 years of my studying, we weren't allowed to choose the book ourselves. It was the teacher who decided what book we were going to read. To be honest, at that period of time, I just hated reading, as it didn't bring me any pleasure. As a result, I put the task on hold and did it only when the deadline was looming. However, in the 3rd year of university, our English teacher allowed us to choose any book which was to our liking. The only limit was the number of pages. You won't believe me, but I spent all weekends reading, being distracted only by my stomach rumbling. I plunged into reading. I learned lots of new words and useful phrases. Thus, if you have a gripping book or a spine-tingling topic, you won't only get the pleasure, but also the result. And the final thing is not to be afraid of making mistakes. Fear of failure is deeply rooted in us. It's quite a common problem, especially when we start speaking a foreign language. An inner you starts asking questions. Oh, what if I make a mistake? What if I embarrass myself in front of my new friends? Look at kids learning languages. They just don't think whether they are making mistake or not. They just speak. Or look at yourself when you are speaking your mother tongue. Don't you make mistakes? Actually, we do. We don't even notice them and continue talking. That's the thing. Native English speakers don't pay attention to mispronunciation of some words or grammar mistakes. The main purpose of the language is to transfer ideas to other people, to communicate, to share your thoughts. It's not about showing who can use more complicated grammar structures or pronounce every single word without a mistake. Please remember my words when you start speaking English the next time. Continue speaking, move on, do your best. You can't get better at speaking a language unless you practice it with a native speaker or fluent speaker. So to speak any language, you need 3 things: motivation, practice, and confidence. If you still have any doubts about how to learn English, you can take a couple of private lessons with us in our online school English with Natalie. Check the link to our Instagram in the description below and write to us if you have any questions. See you in the next video. Bye!